So I just got done taking the fender liner off. I got both sides made up. But I think it's too hot to do anymore. It's 109 right now. Yeah. I'd like to at least tack them in place, but it's just too hot. It's even in the shade. I'll just leave it like that. I'm not going anywhere. 109. Tomorrow's supposed to be hotter. I think probably end up going to the beach or something. Nothing to do around here when it's that hot. Well, out there, guys, it's Monday, right? Labor Day? Yesterday it was like, what, 113, 114? I couldn't get any work done. Today it's supposed to be 100, but I don't think it's going to get there because we got this, it's not clouds, it's smoke from the fire in the mountains here, so. But it's kind of pleasant to work at. It's a lot better than yesterday, so I'm trying to fit these up. See, so now the issue is the holes in the frame. Okay, in case you didn't know, yeah, so this is the frame. This is the area that bends with this hole there when the frame bends. 2018 Colorado. There's a cross member right there. This side holds the shock mount, the upper shock mount, and the other side I think just straps up to the gas tank, to the fuel tank. But anyway, so I want to plate this, right? And put the plate over the top, but with these holes in there, you know, moisture's going to get between the plate and the frame. You don't want that. It's a recipe for corrosion, right? So here's my plate. And that'll fit over like that. Okay. So everything there looks good. But I need to seal up those holes, so I could have made some nice holes that match up to this and then weld up the hole so nothing can get in there, but I'm thinking let's try something different here. We're in Southern California. We don't have that big of a rust problem like they do in the rest of the country. So I cleaned this real good and I put some metal tape. It's aluminum tape used in AC. You know, air conditioning, service repair stuff. I go, hey, that might work. And then let's get some RTV right here. High temp gasket maker, and we'll make a plug, right? So the idea is to indent this tape a little bit so I can fill that with RTV. Same thing on the rest of the holes. And then I'll put a bead of RTV around here on the steel. Not on the tape, but around the tape. So when I put the plate on there, hopefully it squishes in and it's basically a gasket, right? Alright, so there you have it. Just a little bead around there on top of the plug I made. Just as added precaution. See that one, this might be an issue here with this one because it's so close to the edge. I'm going to be welded up here. It might give me some problems. Welding on the edge and the bottom and the top, but you know, I still got the plug in the middle, so this is experimental. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm prepping here to weld these things up. There's a couple things I noticed. I just want to point this out because I've had a Tacoma before and I've had Ford Rangers. So here's the Chevy Colorado 2018, right? My Tacoma was a 2010, and it has the composite bed, which is a fancy term for reinforced plastic, right? So in other words, all this was plastic. The fenders were steel. And I had issues with the bolts coming loose. Now on the Tacoma, it's got, I think, 6 bolts holding the bed on. And on the Chevy Colorado here, we've got 4. 2 in the front, 1 each side, and on the rear, 1 on each side. And this support here where it's just resting on the frame. There's one thing I noticed though, you see. This is good. You can't see that one, but that one's good. But the 2 front ones got little gaps on them, see that? It's quite interesting. Let's see how I can pick it up. Same on the other side. So, it's interesting. It'll snug up once I tighten the bolt up. I've got them loose right now. But next thing is on the Tacoma, this is where what always came loose. And it's not that the bolt came loose because I had people tighten it up, put Loctite. No, it's not that. It's that the composite bed, because the way these beds flex, or the frames flex, this is where it wears out. You know, that's why it's got that gap on there. See? Huh. Especially when you're off-roading. So the bed was wearing out because it was rubbing on the steel mount. And heck, bolt would be tight, but why is it loose? Well, a gap started forming on there, and I had to just stick some washers in there. That's basically what I did, and Loctited, and I eventually bolted the frame up to my ladder rack. I had a ladder rack on top of the bed, so I had some pipe go through the bed up and then tie into the cross member on the ladder rack. I had a full pipe rack on here, and that took care of that. It was connected solid to the steel up to the frame of the ladder rack. But on this one, I haven't had any issues other than the frame flexing too much. So I'm going to reinforce it here. There's my plate. I'm going to tack it in there. I've got this little pad here. I'm going to have to lift the body up so it doesn't melt the pad. But for right now, I think I can tack it together, and I'll make this my last weld so I don't overheat anything. I don't want to get the whole thing hot. I want to do a little at a time and keep things cool. Hey guys, hope you can hear me over the AC blowing. How's it going? It's not going good. Well, let's say it's not going great. And that's basically, you know, like I said, I'm no experienced welder, and there's a few techniques and stuff you learn, you know, just by experience. So, you know, your welder settings, different positions. You know, I'm having to weld flat and horizontal, vertical and horizontal, yeah, up and down, right? It's a little different than welding flat. So I'm getting my settings right. I'm welding up 3/16 to 1/8 to 1/8 inch. You know, so I think I was a little too hot when I started. I was going by the recommended settings on the welder there. So learn as you go experience, right? We don't do this on the second side. So instead of welding the whole thing up, I don't think it's really necessary other than to seal it up. I think I'll seal it up another way. Like I said, being that I'm only welding 1/8 inch steel, I mean, is it going to make a difference to weld all the way around? Or I'll just weld, you know, pop, top, 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 top. Yeah, I'm having some tough positions to get to, and I can't get close enough with this thing on my head, you know. I like getting right in there. And then you're looking into a dark helmet, right? And the light's coming through the top there. That don't help because I'm getting reflections off the inside of the glass there. It's like, okay, so I had to stuff a rag in there. Darken the whole thing up so I can see better, so that helped. So I set my adjustments down, I turned the welder down, and I found what's working better now, so now I'm actually making some nice steady welds. able to lift the body up just enough to weld, get that weld on there where that little plastic pad is. You know, right? I think I'm done with this side. Another issue I had was this piece. Well, you can see it there. Well, past the cross member, it wasn't sitting flush. Everything else was flush, and that wasn't sitting flush. So now, you know, I was trying to weld it, and I go, wow. Oh man, look at it from the side. You can see a gap. I go, oh man, it's too late now. Stuff you got to check when you first do this. I checked everything except this end right here that goes by the body, the cab mount, body mount here. I got it though. I had to do like a filler weld, take up the slack there, but not as good as it should have been. It should have been flush up like I did the rest of them. I had everything. It's experience though. I'm just glad it wasn't a hot sunny day because I'd be dying out here. I would have thrown in the towel. We don't need that, right? So I just got a delivery right now of a capacitor for air conditioning unit, so I gotta go and I'll take care of that. I need a break anyway. I need to put something here to hide my tools and stuff. I don't want to put the tools away. Anyway, hang in there. Learn from my experience here, yeah. You might think you know how to weld. It's always something new. I mean, anybody can weld two sticks together, right? But, you know, weld uphill, downhill, flat, upside down to get the bottom of this plate. I had a spark go down inside my boot and I'm not wearing socks on, you know. That kind of fun stuff, right?